9:45. All right. Good morning. This public hearing is now called to order. Today is Wednesday, May 7th, 2014, and the time is 9:45 a.m. My name is Marta Robinson. I'm Associate General Counsel of the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Here today with me is Teresa Clark, who is the Acting Secretary to the Department. We're here today for a public hearing on whether the Commissioner of Health should adopt amendments to Chapter 21 of Title 24 of the Rules of the City of New York. The chapter is entitled Health Academy Courses and Fees. A notice of intention to amend Chapter 21 was published in the City Record on March 28, 2014, and a copy of the first page of the notice of intention has been provided to the reporter to include in the record. Persons wishing to speak at the hearing were asked to pre-register. I'll call on an individual who's pre-registered. Everybody wishing to speak has 5 minutes to speak. Please, the first person is Vincent Pepe. Pepe, would you spell your name if the reporter needs it, and identify any organization that you're associated with, sure, on whose behalf you're speaking? Yes.
My name is Vincent Pepe. T as in Thomas, R-O, P as in Peter, E, P as in Peter, E. I am with Pepe and Associates. I'm a restaurant consultant and restaurant defense strategist. I have read what is being proposed today a number of times, and 2 words come to mind. Those words are pattern and marketing. Like many words in the English language, these words have more than one definition. The word marketing, in fact, has over 72. Allow me to share one of them with you. Definition 45 is, quote, a strategic and tactical manufacturing process that provides its target marketer with a certain perception of a product or service. The other 71 definitions are more or less the same. The word pattern also has more than one definition. The definition of pattern that can be stated as most applicable to our circumstances lies in definition 7, as, quote, a reliable sample of traits, actions, and tendencies of a person, group, or institution that can determine or forecast future behavior. It is my belief that these voluntary consultative inspections are being marketed to restaurant owners and operators as an effective operating and managerial tool for their restaurants and being charged a premium for it. This is just one way that the city will make up for the lost revenue caused by the proposal for standardizing fines. In addition, for years now, I have observed the way inspectors themselves have conducted routine inspections with little consistency. It has left new restaurant owners and seasoned operators walking on eggshells when inspections take place. These insecurities have become a catalyst for the Department of Health to market these services, I believe, disingenuously. The study of consumer behavior blends elements of psychology, sociology, social anthropology, and yes, marketing. It attempts to understand the decision-making process of buyers and how one's emotions, in this case the owner's insecurities, affects buying behaviors. The insecurities manifested for years now are really what the Department of Health will be profitizing off of. Additionally, the proposal made no affirmations regarding the privacy of these consultative inspection findings, and no guarantee the Department of Health would not use these in findings against court cases for business owners. The most important part of the definition for the word pattern is that it can determine or forecast future behavior. Like all people, groups, or institutions, the Department of Health has patterns too. Let me give you a few examples. If a restaurant is inspected on a Monday, by Thursday or Friday of that same week, the Department of Health has mailed out hundreds, if not thousands, of restaurant owners a settlement offer. These settlement offers are also marketed in a way that would allow restaurant owners to think that they're saving money. The city is making minor fine adjustments on these settlements. By accepting a settlement, the owner is probably paying less, but they are also admitting guilt to every charge. The Department of Health and the Oath Tribunal don't want to see restaurant owners, representatives, or restaurant consultants like myself. They don't want us to go to trial. They would be more than happy to accept settlement offer after settlement offer. Another pattern the Department of Health has is sending out inspectors who do not have adequate knowledge on food. I have personally handled cases where inspectors incorrectly cited a restaurant owner for having moldy blue cheese. I've had Vietnamese clients whose restaurants were shut down because inspectors were not familiar with the fermentation process of that particular cuisine. Another example that some may call a coincidence, but I have seen hundreds of notices of violations for clients who own bagel stores and donut shops that are inspected at the height of service, or busy bars and large restaurants that have large bar crowds not inspected at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but rather 9 o'clock on a Friday night, or pizzerias during the height of lunch service. Are these coincidences? No, they are patterns. These patterns try to find violations at the most inopportune times. These patterns not only need to be identified, but need to be acknowledged by the Department of Health in making the inspection process not just more consistent, but overall fair. These are just a few examples. Small business represents some of the core values of our country. We should be collectively recognizing the contributions of small business over their impact on making employment growth. The food scene in New York is the greatest in the world, and the reason for that is that every cultural denomination is represented here. We have people from all walks of life that are part of our culinary culture and our identity as a city. A city organization has declared a long-fought war on restaurants that has evolved and allowed a tainted system to progress. In my mind, this is not just about restaurants, it's about attacking people's culture, because food is a defining aspect of one's culture. This testimony is not just about consultative inspections and fees, it is about the very root of who we are as people and how that is expressed through food. Any proposal that lacks true lack of genuineness toward positive, measurable progress with restaurant owners is not just a strike attack against restaurants, but also an underminement of what we stand for as a country. The Department of Health should really be focusing on improving the overall system instead of finding additional ways to generate revenue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pepe. Mr. Orza?
Yeah, I'm not ready at this point.
You're not ready yet? All right. We'll hold the record. We'll go off the record for the moment. The second person registered to speak is Anthony Orza. Mr. Orza, would you please identify yourself for the record and spell your name and indicate any affiliations you may have?
Sure.
You have 5 minutes.
Sure. My name is Anthony Orza, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y, Orza, O-R-Z-A. I am the general manager of a catering hall in the Bronx called the Villa Barone Manor at 737 Frogs Neck Expressway. And I'm here today basically, first of all, to get an idea of what the actual investigative process would be. However, the question I have today was something that should be administered. My catering hall is 30,000 square feet. It's well above the average restaurant in New York City as far as square footage and space. My restaurant has 15 refrigerators, walk-in boxes. My restaurant has 3 kitchens. Okay, and over the years it's been under heavy inspection. And at one point we really felt, we do maintain an A. However, the inspectors have come in and tried to inspect my area within a certain period of time, and we don't feel that it can be done relative to the Dunkin' Donuts in the areas where they may have one refrigerator or smaller restaurants. However, that being cited, the question here is, under the broad scope of the consultative inspections, we are, as a management team, we do respect that regulation or that proposal because there are times where inspectors do come into our place, and each inspector may find something that may be a violation under their framework of violation, and then we do go to court hearings and we get it dismissed. The question at hand is, if an inspector comes in and we do volunteer for this consultative inspection and do pay the fee, and the inspector comes in and does a full on-site inspection along with owners and managers, which we respect, and kitchen staff as well as executive chefs, if there is a structural, physical, electrical, plumbing problem that was not cited at this consultative inspection, if the next inspector were to come in on our scheduled inspection, or I'm not even saying scheduled inspection, our surprise inspection, and it is cited, if it's not cited in the consultative and it is cited in the inspection, there should be, it should not be graded, because this can be a structural problem which we were unaware of as if it were a violation. For example, a drain pipe not feeding into the sewer. Over this last 4 or 5 inspections, the supervisors would call, inspectors would call their supervisor to cite a violation. However, every time we go to hearing, it is dismissed because it's not a violation. However, we are graded and fined as if it were. There are many other instances as far as maybe holes in concrete, which is access, or they say is conducive to harborage for insects, but these are not violations under the code, but we do get a violation by the inspector. So again, the question is, if it's not cited, if it's a structural issue or a plumbing issue that was not cited under this consultative inspection, will we have recourse when they do come in for the inspection and have this as a pending violation or something that can be fixed within a certain period of time so we do not get fined, or nor does it affect our grading, the grading of our catering hall, even though we feel it is unfair that we are inspected in the same, based on the same format of the smaller restaurants. Again, we're not an a la carte restaurant, we're a catering hall that is rented out for big events. Today, as I'm sitting here, we have 1,200 people sitting in my catering hall, and we do have inspectors that come in while these are going on, and they'll cite an electrical, plumbing, or a structural problem, and that would give us a lot of points. And again, I go to hearings, they get dismissed, but I'm here today because we do get a full consultative inspection, and that physical issue is not cited then, or is cited but we're told is not a violation. It should not be inflicted upon us, or should not be an infraction at the time of the actual inspection. And I think that should be brought about because we do own 2 other restaurants, another one being in the Bronx, in the city, and one being in Westchester, New York. And we don't have these issues. And when they do come about, it takes a lot of time for me as general manager to go down to the Department of Health, clear up these issues, only to get the violation dismissed. However, at that point, I still have to convince the administrative judge or whoever is sitting on the other side of the desk that it was not an issue on point A. Why is it an issue on point B? So that I think should be heard. And if there is any amendment or anything, I don't know the actual proposal, the rules of the proposal, but we are not against it. We are for it because any type of educational process for my managers, for the owners, and we staff 24 chefs throughout the city, and they're all licensed and have permits for serving the food and running restaurants, and it becomes an issue every time in our relationship with our with our staff, when things are recognized by an inspector, but then later on dismissed by a hearing coordinator or judge. And I think there's a fine line there about what is a violation and not a violation. But if it's not recognized in this consultative inspection, it should be a pending issue later on and follow-up inspections. And that's just what we're here to say. I don't know if it's already built in the proposal where we would have any recourse as owners or managers when something is cited. And I think there should be some type of recourse prior to a hearing, following hearing, or a grading, I should say, because the grading is, the violation is fast to be assessed, and the grade is assessed rather quickly, and it's very difficult. I mean, just recently, we were granted a pending grade because I did go down to the Department of Health oath to argue the violation, and we did get our way inevitably. However, it's becoming an engineering or building department. I think we're getting an overlap of the Department of Health and the Department of Buildings. The Department of Buildings gives me a license for something operating perfect, whether it's electrical or structural, and then the Department of Health comes in and says, I can't have that, whether it's a wall, whether it's an electrical outlet, whether it's a plumbing issue, whether it's a sewage problem. So these are things that I think if they are, again, if we do not get during consultation a heads up on the issue or the problem, I think when we do finally get an inspector, these things that were not noticed by the consultative or the consultant or the employee of the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, we should have some type of a pending situation there before we get a violation or time to fix it. And that's really all I'm here for. I don't know if there is an amendment or that's part of the proposal, but that would make us even more favorable of having this consultative inspection, so that for following the real inspection, the live inspection, so to speak, the grading inspection, we would have some kind of recourse because it was not mentioned or brought to our attention to either our chefs or anyone who is on premise at the time of the inspection, so that we do not have any violation points, as well as we're not so concerned about the dollar amount. That's not why I'm here today. It's about if we have any recourse at all on the actual inspection. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
There being no other persons present to speak, the hearing will be adjourned for approximately 3/4 of an hour. Good morning. This public hearing is now reopened. Today is Wednesday, May 7th, and the time is now 10:43 a.m. My name is Marta Robinson. I'm Associate General Counsel of the New York City Department of Health. This public hearing is on whether the Commissioner of Health should adopt amendments to Chapter 21 of Title 24 of the Rules of the City of New York. The hearing commenced at 9:45 a.m. and we had other people testifying. I understand that you've just arrived and you would like to testify as well. I'll call upon you to speak in the order in which you registered, and you will have 5 minutes to make your remarks. So the first person registered is Bruce Jones. Mr. Jones?
First, without being consulted, okay.
Please go to the microphone, indicate your name and the name of any organization or entity that you represent.
My name is Bruce Jones.
Can you speak into the mic, sir?
My name is Bruce Jones. The name of the restaurant is Miyagi Restaurant, 13th Street.
Turn on.
Is the mic on?
Is it on?
Press the button.
Oh, thank you. My name is Bruce Jones with Miyagi Restaurant. I guess my first question is a consultative inspection. I guess the fee will be $400, it looks like. And what exactly would this involve? They will send an inspector would come in and take a look at things and you know, sort of give preliminarily tell you what's good and what's not so good? Is that what?
Can we go off the record temporarily?
Oh, sorry.
We're not
Okay.
here to answer your
Oh, okay.
questions
I
right
see.
now.
I
This
see.
is only for you to make comments on the rules. If
Ah.
there's something you don't understand that we can
Okay.
respond to, we'll respond in
Okay.
writing to you, or somebody from the program, the food safety program, will contact you later. Okay?
Oh, I see.
Okay?
I see.
But basically, we wanted to have your comments on whether the commissioner should adopt these amendments
Okay.
to Chapter 21.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
All right. Wait a second.
I'm
Back
sorry.
on back on the record.
Yeah. It's a good idea to do this, I think. To give a restaurateur the opportunity to have an idea of what's going on and what's wrong before an inspector comes in. The fee's a bit much, but I think it's a good idea. It's a very good idea, actually. So I gather when they come in, when they take a look around, you're not going to be, they're graded on that. They were just going to tell you what's good and what's not so good. But the idea is a good idea. I guess that's really all I have to say. I didn't understand what the purpose of this was.
Off the record, the
Got it.
actual notice of intention explains what
Yes.
this is about,
I understand.
and it describes what the results of the inspections would be used for.
Yes, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
That's really all I have to say.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's off the record. Can I have a question first, because I'm not clear about this 400 is for what and 100 is for what?
100 is for, I believe it says what they're for.
100 is for restaurant that register for a consultative, and what is 400?
400 is for existing restaurants.
What does it mean for?
Good or bad, that's all they talking about, individual, grade.
The new one.
You understand?
Okay, so this is just to come in and give consultation one time.
Oh.
So this is a one-time consultation for this week. And the question is, so it's instead of on the paper, on the book that will be outside, it's an on-site person's advice.
This one is the public hearing. This one. No. And just this one. Yeah, approve what? Approve. Agree. Could agree. The public hearing.
Prejudice of bias that whoever will join this 400 charge will be already better than whoever. Even now, I cannot say somebody's biased for a person. I can't say that. I mean, there should. I can't answer that question. I mean, you can ask them. It's not a question. Okay, I'm not asking, I'm just for comments. Yeah, thank you.
So do you wish to speak? Do
Oh,
you wish to
no.
comment on the proposal?
I guess I misunderstood this hearing.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Shao, do you wish to comment on the proposal?
Yes, a little bit, yes.
All right, so have a seat,
Thank you.
and we'll go back on the record,
Okay.
okay? All right, we're back on the record. It is 10:50, and testimony is being made by Ms. Betty Shao. Ms. Shao, would you have 5 minutes to comment, and we're here to comment on the proposed changes to Chapter 21 of the department's rules. Please speak. Go ahead.
Okay,
Identify
my name
yourself.
is Betty Shaw,
Yes.
and I'm from Yonghua, Columbus, and 193 Columbus Avenue, Manhattan. And my comment is, I wonder, I know this is not mandatory, right? It's for each restaurant, it's their own will, right? But I wonder whether in the future the inspector will have kind of bias, like, oh, this restaurant did join this $400 course, so maybe later on inspection. And for those who didn't join this $400 course, maybe, give harder comments, harder inspection. I don't know, this is my comment. I'm just, Is it okay?
Is that your comments?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, it's the concern.
Okay, I am not going to answer your
I know,
question right
it's
now,
just,
so we're just here to hear your comments.
Yes,
and to
I
hear your
understand.
concerns.
That's why I say, I wonder whether there will be, a little bit possible. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go off the record now until 10:30, or until other people appear to testify. Just continue.
Okay. Should I put this on?
Yes.
Okay, this is Betty Shaw again, and I was wondering, you know, it's just a comment that if the fee of $400 can be a little bit lower, because nowadays it's very hard to do business in this, especially in New York. The rent is high, the tax is high, the labor is high, everything is high. So, you know, I just wonder whether it can be, you know, lower a little bit, then I think everybody will be more inclined, interested in joining this important teaching, you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're off the record again. It is now 11:42 a.m. and there being no persons present to testify, this hearing is closed.
Wow.